Greetings, friends. Have ourselves a beautiful day today. Oh, it's July 6th, 17th, 2014. And, man, it's an interesting day today because I've been thinking lately about this idea about, well, basically, whenever I'm on, I always do lots of kind of mini experiments on subway cars. So, for example, when a seat comes up, I'll look around and I'll find someone who looks at it, and they'll look at the seat, and then they'll start thinking in their head, should I go to that seat? Is it okay? Blah blah blah. I don't know exactly what's going through their head, but I can see that they thought about it and they're thinking about it and they're not sure. And so it's funny, I've started experimenting a little bit where I'll say in my head, I'll see them, and I'll say, I give you permission to sit down here. And I might say it over and over a couple of times, but the amount of times that I say it and then they decide to sit there, it's pretty high. And I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, is there a connection there? I mean, there's times where I don't say it, and then the amount of times they don't sit down, it's kind of funny. So I've started to wonder if we always need permission to do things. And I think the average person waits to get permission to do things. So I think it's about giving permission to do lots of things. So, I give permission for you to forgive yourself, for example. And I give permission for me to forgive myself in things that I do. And I think permission is a very powerful concept if you think about it. Consent. I consent to this. I agree to this. Or I don't agree to this. And what happens when something is imposed on someone when they don't agree? Think about all the issues that's created versus think about all the issues that are solved when people come to an agreement. They consent to certain things. And so that's why it's funny, if you look at our society, there's lots of things that we did not consent to. Why? Well, part of it is that people they don't want to know that there's some kind of thing going on, because if we knew, then we wouldn't consent to it, and there would be issues. But sometimes they don't want to let you know that you consented to this agreement, which is funny because if you talk about things like contracts, it always seems in our society, again, we have these ideas that come forward where, is this your name on the contract? I remember I had to fight some extreme fitness guy who was overcharging me 3 months because he said I signed my name on the contract. Well, it's not just the simple fact that you sign your name on a contract that makes it a legitimate contract. There's lots of different issues, and I did not consent to all these different things. I didn't consent to being billed 3 months when I didn't even know that I was being billed, because I didn't know. If I knew, then I wouldn't have consented. So see, that's the issue. There's all these people that try to impose ideas without consent, and then there's people and then that's why a part of this whole game that we're playing is awareness. We must become aware of all the contracts that we're consenting to through our passive ignorance, if you will. And so I think consent is a very big issue today, and I would like to see more people consenting to finding out about the contracts that they're participating in, and then deciding, do I consent to this or not? And if I do not consent to this, there's lots of parts in society I do not consent to, like I'm thinking of making a video of me burning a $5 bill, but I'm looking at some of the stuff out there. Well, it's not. What I'm learning is that, first of all, this money that I have is not really my money. I consented to certain terms and conditions of this money. So it's not even my money that I can do with it what I want to do. But it's so funny because, you know, again, in our society, it seems like there's some people who are like, well, this is my money, I get to do what I want to do. And then there's other people that can't do everything with their money, but it seems like there's this weird kind of double standard about consent. And so, you know, if it's money and I can do anything that I want with it, I should be able to burn it too, right? Why can't I burn it? See what I'm saying? Ooh! So, who knows? We'll think. I might do it, I might not. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I'm going to mull it over and think about it. Anyways, let's see what the spirit guides have to say about consent. I'm thinking of changing up my videos when I ask the spirit guides instead of what's the energy of today, because, you know, no one really seems to comment about the energy of today. Maybe I'll just get the spirit guides to comment about things that I've commented about, and we'll see if it's at all interconnected. So, what do the spirit guides have to say about, let's think how to phrase this question. Alright, fine. What do the spirit guides have to say about the importance of consent? Condor. You're too enmeshed in the situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking actions. Boom! What is the bigger picture here? You can't just jump in and be like, oh, well, this is what I think and this is what I believe. Well, what's the bigger picture behind these actions and these decisions that you're making? Peace and love, friends. God, and spreading.